And then I heard Teo did it. Teo, you doing everything to make yourself relevant, man. It's the taxes. He got taxes problem. It's the taxes that's killing him. So he trying to cash out. He was trying to fight, the world champ, the IBF world.
Keyshawn Davis, one of boxing's brightest rising stars, has quickly taken the sport by storm. In only his 13th professional fight, he captured the world title in spectacular fashion at Madison Square Garden, knocking out Berinchyk in the 4th round. The victory cemented his place among the best in the lightweight division and established him as a force to be reckoned with.
Man, it was a crazy event, man, electrifying event. It just feel like every single time I fight, man, it's just so energetic, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I be having the best build-up.
However, what should have been a moment of unbridled celebration quickly devolved into controversy as Teofimo Lopez entered the conversation with both a congratulatory message and alleged behind-the-scenes antics that would soon bring around a heated feud.
What made you mention my name in that interview? Just a question.
You said Crawford will beat me.
It's just an opinion.
I don't like it. I hope you respect that part.
I respect it.
Right after Keyshawn's win, Teofimo Lopez initially appeared supportive, posting a simple message on X, "Congratulations Keyshawn Davis and the DB3 team, way to start the year." It seemed like a rare moment of sportsmanship from Lopez, who is known for his brash, no-filter personality. But beneath the surface, tensions had already been bubbling, and Davis soon dropped a bombshell that sent shockwaves through the boxing world. Davis recently accused Lopez of orchestrating a racist prank in which a box of bananas and watermelons was sent to his hotel room before his fight with Berinchyk. Davis didn't hold back in his public statements, taking to social media to blast Lopez for what he considered an unforgivable act. "I heard Teo did it. Teo, you're trying to do everything to make yourself relevant," Davis said. According to Davis, Lopez's actions were motivated by financial desperation. "It's the taxes that are killing him, so he's trying to cash out," Davis claimed. The comment alluded to long-standing rumors about Lopez's financial struggles. Despite his fame and success, Lopez has faced allegations of mismanaging his earnings, and Davis was quick to capitalize on this narrative. He was trying to fight the IBF world champ Richardson Hitchens, but that's not a big enough fight. He'll probably lose that junk. So now he's trying to come this way, Davis said, referring to Lopez's attempt to line up a unification bout that ultimately didn't materialize.
It's just a young kid trying to get clout. Hasn't made anything, hasn't made no noise, could say what he wants to say. However, hasn't done the recognition, hasn't won a world title. So who is Keyshawn Davis? These guys want clout. Do you guys not understand this? The moment they all get into the moment, right?
Davis made it clear that he had no intention of fighting Lopez under any circumstances. "Guess what? I ain't fighting you. I'm not helping you out. No," he declared. Davis's refusal is firm and unapologetic, rooted not just in anger over the alleged prank, but also in a desire to deny Lopez a potential payday. "You're racist, bro. I'm not helping you out. If I find someone like you right now, I'm helping you. We're making a lot of money. We're walking out of that ring millionaires, but I'm not gonna fight you though." The message was unmistakable. Davis believed Lopez's actions had crossed a line that couldn't be forgiven or overlooked.
"This guy came to America to give me bananas and watermelon with a note on it. It's unprofessional, and I feel like it's racist, and you just made this fight a little more personal."
While Davis's stance was unequivocal, Lopez's response, or lack thereof, added another layer of intrigue. Lopez, who is typically quick to defend himself and engage in verbal sparring, has remained uncharacteristically silent. His refusal to address Davis's accusations left many fans and analysts speculating about his motives. Some have interpreted the silence as an admission of guilt, while others believed it was a calculated move to avoid further inflaming the situation. Either way, Lopez's reputation took a significant hit, and the absence of a rebuttal only fueled the perception that he was in the wrong.
He gets on my nerves, and he do a lot of this, and like somebody's really scared of him. But behind closed doors, every time I cross paths with him and his father don't say nothing. But in front of all these cameras, he get balls. Understand what I'm saying? But I'm me, 100%.
Before accusing Lopez, Davis had initially pointed the finger at Berinchyk, his opponent in the title fight, In the lead-up to their bout, Davis had repeatedly labeled Berinchyk a racist during press conferences, creating an intense and hostile atmosphere. After the fight, and after learning that Lopez was allegedly behind the prank, Davis issued a lukewarm apology to Berinchyk on social media. "My bad," he wrote, a terse acknowledgement of his mistake. The apology did little to repair the damage, and many fans criticized Davis for making baseless accusations in the first place.
Same thing with Keyshawn Davis. Came up, asked for a photo from me. Me being who I am, I'm gonna give it to these guys. Man, I guess this is what it feels like to be on top, huh? This is what it feels like. Gosh, I haven't even fought.
Despite the controversy, Davis's victory over Berinchyk was nothing short of spectacular. The fourth-round knockout demonstrated Davis's immense talent and potential, silencing critics who had questioned his ability to compete at the highest level. Berinchyk, a tough and experienced fighter, had been expected to pose a significant challenge, but Davis made it look easy. The win not only earned Davis the world title, but also solidified his status as one of the sport's most exciting prospects. In the aftermath of the fight, Davis continued to double down on his refusal to fight Lopez. "Go ahead and call me scared. I don't care," he said, brushing off any suggestions that he was avoiding a tough opponent. "I'm not going to be the first one you fight. I'm not helping you out."
Teofimo Lopez, if he's saying he wants to fight, we're going to fight. Like, it's not going to be a situation where, oh shit, I need more of this, I need more of that.
The comments reflected Davis's confidence and defiance, but they also raised questions about his future plans. Some boxing insiders have speculated that Davis's refusal to fight Lopez could limit his options going forward. While Davis is currently riding high after his victory over Berinchyk, avoiding a fight with Lopez could be seen as a missed opportunity to further enhance his legacy. A Davis-Lopez showdown would undoubtedly be one of the most anticipated fights in recent memory, pitting two of the sport's most explosive and outspoken fighters against each other. However, Davis seemed unfazed by the potential fallout, prioritizing his principles over the allure of a big payday.
I gotta ask, because obviously we saw it, Andy came, tried to give you the pound, you didn't seem too receptive. What did you think of that moment? Was you confused, like he was saying what up to you, or?
Can we leave now?
Y'all good, y'all good. Y'all beautiful too.
Lopez, meanwhile, finds himself at a crossroads. With his reputation tarnished and his financial status under scrutiny, Lopez faces an uncertain future. If he hopes to remain relevant and repair his image, he'll need to take decisive action. Whether that means addressing the allegations head-on or pursuing a high-profile fight, Lopez will need to make a statement, both inside and outside the ring. However, Teofimo Lopez doesn't seem interested in fighting Keyshawn at all. Following Davis's recent accusations and refusal to fight Lopez, Teo now has a fresh stipulation. Keyshawn should first defeat his amateur nemesis, Andy Cruz, before even thinking about stepping into the ring with him.
Oh, honestly, like, amateurs is amateurs, bro. Like, that shit already passed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't hold no grudges with him. He calling me out. He building his career off of my name. You know what I'm saying? Every time he fight, he get on the zone. The commentators talk about me. You know what I'm saying? But
Teofimo's demand has sparked another round of controversy, with boxing fans split on whether Keyshawn should prove himself or whether Lopez is simply ducking the fight in his own way. Teofimo's proposal to have Davis face Andy Cruz isn't just some throwaway comment. Lopez knows exactly what he's doing. Cruz, the 2020 Olympic gold medalist from Cuba, has been Davis's kryptonite for years. In their amateur days, Cruz bested Davis 3 times, each loss stinging more than the last. It's a rivalry that Keyshawn has yet to avenge, and Lopez has now weaponized it.
I ain't gonna give it to you like that. You both have to earn our stripes. You're not there yet. You still gotta beat Andy Cruz. You 0-3. Why you putting somebody else in something that you into? You 0-3. You talking about you. I'm talking about facts. You talking about you. And when you talk about me, it's facts.
By suggesting this matchup, Teofimo is playing both the psychological and promotional game. Not only does he aim to embarrass Davis publicly, but he's also adding another layer of complexity to an already heated feud. Interestingly, Matchroom promoter Eddie Hearn jumped on board with Teo's suggestion almost immediately. Hearn took to social media to express his excitement, stating, "Me and Teo finally agree on something." This public endorsement from Hearn reveals just how badly he wants to see Andy Cruz face Davis. Hearn has been eyeing this fight ever since he signed Cruz in 2023. To him, Davis versus Cruz represents the perfect mix of unfinished business and a high-stakes showdown between two young stars.
And white trim. His with only one defeat, one draw, 16.
Hearn knows that a Davis-Cruz fight would be a moneymaker, but it also serves another purpose. It could be the perfect stage setter for a future Lopez-Davis fight. The problem? Keyshawn doesn't seem the least bit interested in taking on Andy Cruz. While Teofimo and Hearn are drumming up hype for the fight, Davis has remained silent on the matter. Some believe it's because Davis knows his weaknesses all too well. The last time he faced Cruz, Davis struggled to keep up with the Cuban's footwork and speed, eventually falling short once again. For all of Davis's talk and bravado in recent months, stepping into the ring with Cruz represents a major risk. If he were to lose again, it could damage his standing in the sport and potentially erase any chance of facing Lopez in the future.
It's gonna be me that knocked Teo off. Trust me. He is not tough. He's not that good. He don't understand distance. He would jump in every single time. He needs somebody.
Critics have pounced on Davis's reluctance, with some going so far as to question his ambition. One boxing analyst wrote, "If you could magically transplant Sugar Ray Leonard's guts into Keyshawn's body, he could be special." Others have accused Davis of being more interested in chasing money than glory. His refusal to fight Cruz or any other top-tier talent has only fueled those accusations. Keyshawn's next opponent, Miguel Madueño, doesn't exactly inspire confidence in his willingness to take on bigger challenges. While Madueño is a solid fighter with a respectable 31-3 record, he's not the caliber of opponent that fans want to see Davis face. Some see it as yet another soft opponent for Keyshawn, a tune-up fight that does little to push him closer to a world title. For someone who's been vocal about wanting to fight Lopez, Davis's choice of opponents tells a different story.
And I will say this about Keyshawn, and I like Teofimo, man. Teofimo's a good dude, man. Great fighter, got good twitch, good speed on him, good knowledge. We can't fuck with Keyshawn. I promise you that.
Teofimo has called out Davis's perceived lack of ambition, stating, "You're 0-3 against Andy Cruz. You still gotta beat him." For Teo, the math is simple. If Davis can't even beat the guy who's owned him in the amateurs, he has no business calling out a former unified world champion, but it's not just about the amateur losses. Lopez sees Davis as someone who feels entitled to a big payday without putting in the necessary work. "I ain't gonna give it to you just like that," Lopez said in a recent interview. This entitlement narrative has only grown louder. Davis, who is under the same top-rank banner as Lopez, seems to believe that their shared promotional ties should make the fight happen automatically.
But he still lost 3 times to Andy Cruz, our fighter, and he'd never beat Andy Cruz. And Jaron Ennis can also confirm that, and Bozy can confirm that because he trains Andy Cruz. So I think if Keyshawn wants a fight before Gervonta Davis, sign us up for Andy Cruz.
But boxing doesn't work like that, especially not with someone as proud and calculating as Lopez. For Teofimo, Davis hasn't earned the right to share the ring with him. And until Davis makes some serious moves, like fighting Cruz, Lopez seems content to keep him waiting. Some fans, however, are taking Davis's side. They argue that Teofimo is using Cruz as a shield to avoid facing Keyshawn. Lopez's career has been marked by ups and downs, with his most recent performances leaving some questioning whether he still has the hunger that made him a champion. Critics of Teo point out that if he really believed he could beat Davis, he wouldn't need to put any obstacles in the way. Instead, he'd take the fight and prove his dominance once and for all.
It seems like you bring Andy Cruz's name up, he get a little shaky.
No, he get upset. He get upset because Andy using his name. Don't nobody know.
The Teofimo-Keyshawn dynamic is complicated further by their respective fan bases. Lopez has a loyal following, but he's also made plenty of enemies with his brash personality and controversial remarks. Meanwhile, Davis's star is on the rise, but his refusal to fight top-level competition has made him a polarizing figure. Social media is a battleground for both sides, with fans debating everything from who's ducking whom to whether Davis has the potential to become a world champion. For Eddie Hearn, this entire saga is a promotional dream. Whether it's Davis versus Cruz, Davis versus Lopez, or even a 3-way rivalry that stretches out over multiple fights, Hearn knows there's big money to be made. And if Davis continues to resist the Cruz fight, Hearn may push even harder to make it happen. After all, Cruz is one of Matchroom's rising stars, and a win over Davis could catapult him to the next level.
Teo can't fuck. I'm trying to tell you. He just can't. Like, some people just can't. He just can't. He's not that. He can't. Like, Teo's a person that fight people that's pressure. When somebody get to box him, he don't know what to do, bro. And that's, I can do both. And I come with that mental, like, Teo can't fuck, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
As for Andy Cruz, the Cuban star has remained largely silent throughout all of this. Cruz is known for letting his performances in the ring do the talking, and he's likely more than willing to face Davis again if the opportunity arises. For Cruz, a fourth victory over Davis would be a statement win that could propel him into title contention. Ultimately, the ball is in Keyshawn Davis's court. If he wants to fight Teofimo Lopez, he may have no choice but to face Andy Cruz first. Whether Davis is willing to take that risk, or whether he'll continue to push for a direct fight with Lopez, remains to be seen. One thing is certain though, the boxing world is watching closely, and the drama between Teofimo Lopez, Keyshawn Davis, and Andy Cruz is far from over.
You are good. You are real good. But there's levels to this game, Keyshawn.
Okay, we're going to talk about levels. Okay, just know it's levels.
Davis's win over Berinchyk added more fuel to his rapidly rising star. Berinchyk, known for his toughness and rugged style, was expected to pose a real challenge. Instead, Davis outclassed him with sharp footwork, explosive counterpunching, and relentless pressure. The knockout victory not only earned Davis praise from boxing analysts, but also showcased how much he's evolved since turning pro. But for Davis, beating Berinchyk isn't enough for fans demanding a Cruz showdown. The chatter surrounding their amateur rivalry refuses to die down, even though Davis believes he's miles ahead of Cruz in the professional ranks. While Cruz remains undefeated at 5-0, Davis continues to argue that Cruz's professional resume doesn't justify a matchup yet.
What would say to them in that moment?
Yeah.
And then, like you saying, translators be saying, like, he be saying all that, my son and all that type of shit. So why would I even shake his hand? That's kind of like...
Cruz's January 25th win over Omar Salcido was technically sound, but lacked the explosive flair that Davis delivered in his recent fight. Davis's frustration is clear. Why should he, fresh off a knockout of a WBO title holder, step down to fight a prospect with only a handful of pro fights? He's got to put in more work, Davis reiterated post-fight. I just knocked out a champion. Cruz hasn't even faced anyone close to that level. I'm not ducking him. I just want him to prove he's ready first. This sentiment hasn't silenced Cruz's growing fan base. Many believe Cruz's amateur victories over Davis, especially his win at the 2020 to 2021 Olympics, give him the psychological edge. However, Davis dismisses those amateur fights as irrelevant, emphasizing that the professional game is a completely different world. Amateurs don't mean shit here, Davis said firmly. I'm a knockout artist now. Let's see if he can handle what I'm bringing when the time comes. Cruz's rapid rise in the rankings has added another layer of tension. He's already ranked number 1 by the WBC, number 3 by the IBF and WBA, and number 15 by the WBO. Critics of Davis are using this as ammunition, arguing that Cruz has done enough to earn his shot. However, Davis believes Cruz's high rankings are premature and largely based on his amateur reputation rather than any true tests in the professional ring. If Cruz is really that good, let him fight a top 10 guy first, Davis said, then we'll see if he's ready for me. Instead of waiting on Cruz, Davis has set his sights on bigger names. He's made it clear he wants Gervonta Tank Davis, though he doesn't believe that fight will materialize anytime soon. Tank don't got the balls to fight me, Keyshawn said bluntly. He's out here cherry-picking fights. I'm not gonna hold my breath. More realistically, Keyshawn is eyeing Isaac Pitbull Cruz, a fan-favorite brawler who recently defeated Angel Fierro in a Fight of the Year contender. Pitbull Cruz hasn't fought at lightweight since 2023, but Davis is open to negotiating a catchweight. That's a fight the fans would go crazy over, Davis said with confidence. Las Vegas, big arena, sold-out crowd. That's the kind of fight that puts you on the map even more. Pitbull Cruz's aggressive, no-nonsense style would likely produce fireworks if paired with Davis's sharp counterpunching and speed. The matchup is also more realistic in terms of fan interest and financial reward, which Davis made clear is now a major factor in his decision-making.
Hey, Ron, you might be the next one, too. Last time we was in the ring, you felt this power. Last time we was in the ring, you felt this power.
So far, Andy Cruz has remained relatively quiet. While some see this as Cruz staying focused on his own journey, others interpret it as a missed opportunity to build more hype around the potential fight. Davis, however, doesn't seem to care. He's made it clear he's in no rush. "I'm gonna keep knocking people out and moving up," Davis said. "When the time is right, we'll see. But until then, I'm not wasting energy on Cruz."
Man, this was some heated sparring between Teofimo Lopez and Keyshawn Davis, man. Who would y'all got winning in the actual fight if this fight was that?
Despite Davis's stance, the boxing community isn't known for patience. Fans are already expressing their frustration at the lack of a definitive plan for a Davis-Cruz fight. Many believe it's only a matter of time before the noise becomes too loud for either fighter to ignore. Both men are undefeated, both have something to prove, and both stand to gain a lot financially and legacy-wise from settling their rivalry. However, Davis is banking on Cruz building his name further before any deal is made. And with Cruz ranked highly by sanctioning bodies, it may only take one more impressive victory for the tables to turn.
Matias.
Better than Devin, better than Tio. I think he'll beat all of them.
Matias.
Why is that? Break that down. What makes him so terrific, though?
I just feel like he's just a fighter that everybody is staying away from right now. And this,
if there's one thing that's clear, it's that the Keyshawn Davis versus Andy Cruz rivalry isn't going away. Both men are on a collision course, whether it happens next year or a few years down the line. For now, Davis is determined to keep his focus on bigger names, more significant fights, and his own journey toward becoming a lightweight superstar. Until Cruz meets the standard Davis has set, the fight may have to wait. For now, Davis is content to let the world wait. But time has a way of catching up, especially in boxing. What do you think happens now? Do you think Keyshawn will fight Andy Cruz any soon? Share your thoughts below and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more updates.